Hey buff dudes and girls, back again with the 3 easy tips. Now we've listened to your suggestions, so we're about to go over the 3 easy tips for building boulder shoulders. So stay tuned, because we're about to get started. All right dudes, so first we're gonna cover the lateral head of the deltoid. Now the lateral head of the deltoid is usually not a secondary muscle group in any kind of exercise. The front delt, or the anterior delt being for bench press, the secondary muscle group, and the posterior delt, the secondary muscle group for any kind of pulling exercise, but the lateral head is usually lacking in that area. So what you want to do is really concentrate on lateral raises. But the problem is a lot of dudes do it wrong, which is going to be lifting from their hands. So they're bringing it up, and a lot of times that's going to incorporate a lot of that front delt instead of the lateral head. So what you want to do is grab those dumbbells, and while you're raising up, you're going to be raising with the elbows. So that's going to be pulling the elbows higher than the hands, and you're going to get a slight twist downward, so the thumbs are going to slightly face towards the ground. So you're going to bring it up, twist slightly, and right back down. You want to get a nice smooth motion. Remember, not lifting with the hands, you're lifting with the elbows here, and it's going to incorporate a lot more of that lateral head of that deltoid. So that's the first tip. Tip number 2, any kind of pressing motion, which should be a big part of any kind of shoulder program because it's a major compound movement and it's going to work all 3 heads of the deltoid. So if you're doing overhead press, one of the biggest mistakes a lot of people do is going to be really wide with their shoulders and also their elbows, bringing out here and leaning back, and that's going to incorporate a lot of the upper chest. And also it's going to put the shoulders in a little bit more of a compromised position. So what you got to do with any kind of pressing motion is keep the elbows in a little bit tighter as you press. So your grip is not going to be out here, which is going to be bringing your elbows out with it. What you want to do is bring in your grip about shoulder width, maybe slightly outside, and that's going to tighten in those elbows and be able to press straight up through the shoulders and then right back down. That way you're not incorporating too much of the chest, and also you're putting the shoulders in a little bit better position and not in a compromised position, so you won't get any injuries. Tip number 3 is remembering that there is 3 heads to the deltoids. Anterior, which is going to be the front part, lateral, the middle part, and posterior, which is the back part. The problem is a lot of times when you're working out, you usually just see the front part of your body, so it's easy just to work the front part. As well as benching, you're going to be hitting the front delt too. So a lot of times people have a problem with pronated shoulders, bringing it in, they get that upper cross section where it's just kind of like a lot of tightness in that front area. And what you want to do is concentrate on the back of the area too, so that way it tightens those muscles up and brings those shoulders back, and so you have proper form. So one of the best things is to always include some kind of posterior deltoid workout. One of the best we like is going to be the reverse flies, which is usually you're just bending at the waist, grabbing some dumbbells, and you're going to be pulling it out really wide. So what you got to do is think of a reverse fly. So instead of coming inward this way, you're actually doing the exact opposite. And the little trick you like to do is somewhat just like the lateral raises, where you're going to pull your thumbs downward. When you're doing the reverse flies, or the bent over laterals as some people call them, you want to pull those thumbs down, and that's going to bring your elbows out wider, because these ones you do want your elbows out wider, bringing your elbows up, and you'll get more contraction in the posterior delt. A lot of people make the mistake of bringing the dumbbells more back here, and it's going to work a little bit more of the lats, and it's not really going to isolate those posterior delts as much as they could be isolated. So remember, 3 heads of the deltoid, make sure you hit those posterior delts properly, and you're good to go. Okay, dudes and girls, that wraps up the 3 easy tips for building boulder shoulders. Hopefully you enjoyed it. And thanks to your suggestion, that really fuels our future videos. So please keep those suggestions coming in the comments. And also, please check out our other 3 easy tip videos, because a lot of these tips apply to other muscle groups as well. Either it be consistency, range of motion, really hitting all heads of a certain muscle group, and so on. So thanks dudes and girls, and look out for more videos soon. One step closer to being a buff dude or girl.